Right now, I know some people that aren't all that happy with Fender guitars. I don't need to get into why. I've said my piece on it. That's not the point of today's video. Some people have been really looking into alternatives for F-style guitars now more than ever, though, because of all these events that have been happening. And some people are looking to PRS for Silver Skies, LSL, K-Line, all sorts of great brands that are available here in the United States and some places even abroad. The reason I'm making this video today is to kind of just warn you about the potential and something that you should absolutely read the fine print on if you're considering buying something abroad. I say this from experience. For years, I demoed Harley Benton guitars. I've never, ever, 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 ever had a collaboration. As in, they've never provided me with a guitar, they never paid me for any of that stuff. It was all out of my own pocket. The last one that I demoed was the ST Modern, and I was really, really, really unhappy with how that guitar showed up to me. I believe that was in 2024 in the spring, when I reached out to them about a return because I'm in the United States, going back over to the UK, or rather to Germany, just over the pond. It would have cost me half the price of the guitar to return it, and at that point, I would have been out a few $100, and I would have had no guitar, and that sucked. And that made me sit and say, you know what? Despite the fact that, I've had pretty good results from the previous Harley Bentons that I had demoed in the past and, bought here for myself, I'm not so sure I feel great about recommending that brand to Americans. If you're in Europe, it's a totally different story, because it could potentially, cost you a pretty penny, a nice guitar pedal at the very least, in just getting the thing sent back and getting some of a return, unless you want to do what I did. I ended up just selling the thing here in the USA and washing my hands after it. A little bit of a loss. Here's the thing. There's always going to be marketing on YouTube. I do marketing on YouTube. Call a spade a spade. Better than Fender, the best offset guitars, the best Stratocaster, the best S-style. Fender sucks. This is better. Buy this. If people didn't use those sorts of things, the audience, you guys, honestly, whether you want to believe it or not, or admit it rather, that's what people click on. That's what's going to get the views. You have to make a bold claim like that. And when you're working with the brand, you want to do that because you want to get the most eyes on it, because you've entered a collaboration with them, and it is what it is. Whether or not there's any truth in what you're saying, that is going to vary from person to person, and that's kind of where you have to use your own judgment on it. But I say that not to pick out or point out any one brand. However, I will, again, just use another real-world example here. I know a friend of mine that I personally know, not a YouTube friend, from Southern California, and he purchased one of those offset guitars, a Jaguar-style instrument, and it was just a mess. It was a complete mess. Quality control was a mess. Woodwork was a mess. And the problem that he was having was trying to return it. Read the fine print on the website, and it says the buyer incurs all return fees. So shipping back to China. I don't know when's the last time you packaged a guitar and got a quote to ship something from the United States to China. But let me tell you, it's not cheap. So he's still with the guitar. I don't know if he's found any resolution with the brand, but in the case of him just wanting to straight up return it, wasn't going to happen. And just to be clear here, I know what I just said is going to piss some people off. I don't have a problem with Harley Benton. For the most part, I had a lot of success. If you're in Europe, knock yourself out. You're not going to pay an arm and a leg to ship the thing back. And with the other brand, I know a guy, it's one of the only people, there's very few, on this entire platform that I trust at face value, that I've had real conversations with over the course of, last year or so. And I know that that particular person, he had really good experience with that brand, and he wouldn't lie for the sake of it, even though it was a collaboration. That's just not his style. He is one that is typically tearing things apart and being brutally blunt as far as quality goes. So I'm sure that he was being very genuine with his review. And I know that other people who have had some of these Chinese offset guitars, they've also had great success. It's just sometimes you have to be willing to gamble on it, and you should be at least at the bare minimum aware that it could cost you, a few $100 if it doesn't work out for you. That being said, though, just be careful. Read the fine print on any of these things. And if you don't feel confident with something, and it seems like it might be, maybe a little bit too much money to potentially risk on something, wait it out, buy something used, Look around. You don't have to get a Fender guitar, or if you don't want to do that, buy from a place where you know you're going to have a good return policy here and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg should things go wrong. Again, I'm sure that lots of people are happy with all these brands. I know we highlighted two today, but there's a lot. There's a lot of brands that do the whole overseas shipping thing that don't have people here as far as dealers or places to return things to, warehouses or the like, and it just certainly makes it a lot more complicated if a problem does arise, and I wouldn't want you to be out a whole bunch of money. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I know that YouTube nowadays, it's all marketing. That's it. And everyone's got to make a living. I'm not begrudging of it. I do sponsored deals pretty much all the time at this point when I do upload because, you know, I got bills to pay. But it is what it is. And the more information that you have going into any sort of purchase, I feel like it's better. That's all I have. Take it easy, everybody.